I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, my friend and yours, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson was an event that allegedly went down in Dallas, Texas. UFC 309 went down from New York City. It was really just a whole weekend of old guy fights, essentially. We got UFC Macau coming up down in China this Saturday night. As well as a boatload of news. As always, we're brought to you by a few sponsors of the show, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Rogue Energy keeps me fueled up, whether I'm at my home, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm at work. They get me to the finish line. They can help you get there as well. Code SOUNDOFF at checkout. Code SOUNDOFF. They spell the brand's name for 10% off. Meanwhile, ELYXR, they're going to get you really high with their Delta 8 products. Angel's actually high right now on ELYXR Delta 8s. And you can enjoy some. Code SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off. However, we also want to talk about our friends over at BetMGM. MMA and boxing fans, if you want to get up to $1,500 in bonus bets paid back if you don't hit, please follow that link down below to BetMGM. Once again, up to $1,500 in free bets if you don't hit. If you have any issues, please contact 1-800-GAMBLER. However, if you want to have some fun, and if you followed our advice last week, you would have made a fair bit of money. I mean, Jake Paul closed as, I believe, a minus 290, which is insane, and I personally threw a lot of money on him. Not as much as I should have in hindsight. However, if you would have followed us and, you would have made a fair... Jon Jones, obviously picked him. Charles Oliveira, we picked him. Bo Nickel, if you would have done a four-way parlay of Jake Paul, Jon Jones, Oliveira, Nickel, would have made a fair bit of money, man. That being said, if you want to go ahead and tail us for this week, please follow that link down below. Well, Angel, it happened. Admittedly, I wasn't excited for it to happen. I don't want to say I didn't care, but... I mean, I cared, but I wasn't, enthusiastic about the fight happening as far as itself. I was kind of, excited for, the grandeur of the event. I want to see how Netflix did. I kind of want to see how many people tuned in. I want to see if Mike Tyson could pull off the impossible, if he could turn back Father Time. In the end, he looked exactly like a 58-year-old man out there who nearly died in June. He had one round. I gave him round one, I think, pretty cleanly. I don't think Jake Paul landed more than one or two shots in the first round. He kind of just stood back, tried to clinch. Round two, more competitive. You could give it to Mike. I don't remember if I did or not. But then round three, Jake Paul rocks Mike Tyson with a trio of left hooks. And from that point forward, this thing turned into an exhibition. I'll give him credit. They actually did fight genuinely for the first three rounds. But after that point, Mike got rocked. And it was all, it was basically just a show from there. Jake Paul was standing back, trying to land some jabs. Mike Tyson really just trying to slip any sort of punches that came his way. Ends up winning by unanimous decision 80-72, 79-73, 79-73. Angel, give me your thoughts on the fight, man. Were you intrigued? Were you entertained? A lot of people hated the fight. Give me your overall thoughts, man.
Okay, so to kind of run down everything a little bit there. I thought everything, no bullshit. This literally went all exactly as I thought it would go. Nothing was different.
Yeah.
Nothing in my mind has changed. None of my opinions have changed since or before or after the fight. I thought the fight was gonna go either one way. It's either gonna go to distance. Mike was gonna get carried through, or Jake was gonna go out there and try to obliterate him. I thought Mike was gonna look good for one or two rounds. He looked good for one round, 1.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that sense, all of that went the same. The event itself, it looked nice. It was presented well. It was at a big arena. I called it on the show. I don't know if I said it live. I know I definitely said it in private. I was like, I think there's gonna be some streaming issues without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
They were bad, and they were way worse than what I thought they were gonna be. So hopefully they get that all sorted out, because there's a lot of potential here for something pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And really making big events and giving people accessibility across the world to watch big events like this. Because this was a global phenomenon. It's a big pop cultural thing. A lot of people were talking about it. And another thing I wanted to say is, fuck you to everybody who called us dumbasses for saying that we didn't know boxing, that we were fucking casual. I think another reason that people would tell us those things is because we thought that Jake Paul was a better boxer. No. The thing is that if it was how old is Jake?
27.
If this was a 27-year-old Mike Tyson versus a 27-year-old Jake, Mike would have obliterated Jake in the first round like he did in his prime.
He would have ripped his head off and shit down his neck, basically. That's what would have happened.
Yeah, so, You know, we never. The thing is, it's like the boxing skills of Mike were never in question. That was never an issue. You know, the only issue was his age. I work with people who are elderly, who are around Mike's age at times, who are on one end of the spectrum pretty decently healthy, and on the other end, dude, I know how these people move. I know how these people function. I actually, in round 3, when I saw Mike kind of get a little tag, a little wobble, I bullshit you guys not. I actually began to tear up a little bit. I didn't tear up, but I felt the feeling in my eyes if I was going to begin to cry because I knew what could happen to him and what could follow that up. And to follow that statement up, Mike released a statement on his Instagram that I will read to you guys. First of all, he thanked everybody for, for the fact that he was able to do this and put himself in this situation and come out. And he doesn't regret any of his decisions. But people shit on us because this fight still happened. But I want to quote something from Mike directly. He said, "I almost died in June. I had 8 blood transfusions, lost half my blood and 25 pounds in the hospital, and had to fight and get healthy so he could win this fight." There was no way this man was ever going to come out here and do anything. And I knew that back then, even before I knew for a fact what had happened. And this only reinforced it. And that hospital situation on the plane and all that, that even reinforced my feeling more of knowing that he was probably not going to end up having a good showing. And all I'm going to say is, in the great words of a movie, are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Because I'm not surprised that you're not.
Yeah. Look, man. I mean, I did a kind of like a full length video on the channel where I talked for like 10, 11 minutes, kind of like my full length thoughts. And I'll kind of reiterate a few of these here, but I'm sure if you guys have watched them, you've probably seen that one. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought the fight looked pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought if this is a serious pro fight and these guys went balls to the wall, Jake Paul was going to knock him out. If it was more of an exhibition type, he's going to outbox him for 8 rounds. That's basically what happened. I didn't start tearing up or anything, but I did before the fight happened. I was watching with a couple of casual fans, and they were like, "Yeah, so Mike's going to fuck him up, right?" I'm like, "No, like, I don't even want to watch this fight. Like, I genuinely don't want to watch this fight." Because for me, like, and I got shit on repeatedly in the comment section for saying that this fight should not happen and that this fight was gross and that Mike was going to get hurt and he was going to look bad. And every single time I would say that, people in the comments like, "Oh, you're a fucking pussy. You don't know shit about boxing." Like, "Oh, what are you, a fucking liberal?" And it's like, dude, like, he's a 58-year-old man.
They call you a casual, or if you thought Jake was going to win, you were a casual. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're the casual.
Yeah.
You're the casual. We're thinking that Mike's going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Mike Tyson made me want to pick up a pair of boxing gloves, man. Like, he's one of my boxing gloves. Made me want to get into the sport. I've watched so many fights, like even these older fights, man, where he was like kind of older, like the Andrew Galata in 2000, where he just beat the fucking piss out of him, had him quit on the stool. The Clifford Etienne knockout when he came in there, my back is broken, spinal, all that shit. Even from later fights in his career, man. But at the same time, I'm not going to be delusional. He's a 58-year-old man. He was going in there under the worst of circumstances. I said this back a week or two ago. If this fight would have happened whenever Mike Tyson was 38, he kills him. 28, let me just rephrase. 28, he might literally kill Jake Paul. Mike Tyson at the age of 28 might literally kill him. Mike Tyson at the age of 18 literally will kill him. Mike Tyson at 38 demolishes him inside a round. Mike Tyson at 48 defeats him within 2. Mike Tyson, if he would have had Roy Jones, probably beats him by decision. Yeah. But the reality is, this is a man that had a knee injury heading into the fight. He nearly died in June, and he's 58 fucking years old. Yeah. The fight looked what it was going to always look like.
The guy who fought, Donovan Razor Ruddock?
Yes.
Is fucking gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's still here. Like, the person still remains. That body, that knowledge is still here. But the guy who fought that guy that night and had those 2 fucking bangers is fucking gone. It was just a reality. People didn't want to admit it to themselves. They were like, old man strength, this, that, and the other. Guys, no, like, if you watch, you can even, dude, in fighting, how often do you see at the highest level the younger guy beat the older cat, the guy who was champ, the guy who was dominant, the guy who was the best? And even in those scenarios, the age difference is much smaller and the skill gap is significantly closer. In this scenario, the skill gap was bigger, but the age was so wide that it didn't matter.
Yeah. And the reality is that Jake Paul is not a good boxer. He's not. But he's a young man who's been boxing for 6 years, is taller than Mike, you know what I mean? And you could just tell, like, in camp, they probably just worked on jabbing, clinching if Mike got close, so on and so forth. And yeah, sure, if you want to take a moral victory out of this, Mike made it the full distance. He did look good in round 1. Like, at the time, I was like, oh, cleanly won round 1, cleanly maybe even won round 2. You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking too.
So, but at the same time, he was never going to be able to replicate that across 8 rounds. And the second he started gassing, you saw Jake open up, and what happened. Afterwards, Jake said that he carried him, which like defeats the whole purpose of carrying somebody. Because it's like you're kind of if you're carrying somebody in boxing, you're doing that for one or two reasons. You want to protect the guy's dignity, or you want to go ahead and make sure the fight's fun for the fans. Floyd against Conor, I've never really thought of that like a carrying situation. And I also think whenever these guys say they're carrying, they're never doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because if they lose trying to get this guy out of there, it's way worse. Think about Floyd Conor. He sat back for the first 3-4 rounds. I don't think that's because he wanted the fight to be fun. When the fuck does Floyd Mayweather ever cared about having fun fights? It's because he wanted to let Conor gas himself out. In this case, Jake probably knew either I knock out Mike Tyson, who's 58 years old, and I might send him into a fucking coma and become the most hated man on the planet, or I try to go in there and try to catch Mike Tyson and knock him out, and I get caught, which is even worse outcome because then you're losing to a 58-year-old man. So, yeah, man. I mean, the fight sucked. It was what it was. 108 million people tuned in, though. One of the most watched boxing matches of all time. Do with that information what you will. It was a freak show fight. This is where the Jake Paul experiment's gonna peak. You know, this is it. You're not gonna get bigger than this. Even if you go out there and fight for the heavyweight title, Daniel Dubois called him out. That'll do a fraction of the number. Even if it's on Netflix, they're probably gonna do like what, 40 million, 30 million. Best case scenario.
Well, the thing is, he could fight the current champ and it wouldn't pull these kind of numbers.
Exactly. You could fight Alexander Usyk. You could fight Tyson Fury. It wouldn't matter, right?
Well, maybe if it's one of those guys. But what I'm saying is, at cruiserweight,
yeah. Oh, you're talking about like Jai Patoa,
Roberto Ramirez. Like if he fights any of those guys, it's not gonna reach.
Oh no. Maybe Tyson. Maybe Tyson Fury because
I would say Tyson Fury, like the really really big names, but not these other guys.
We'll close this out as far as like the main event goes. I really don't think there's a whole lot else to really say. We don't know what's next for Jake. I think it'll be
he's gonna downgrade from here. It's the truth.
Oh, obviously. I mean, gun to my head, who do I think he'll fight? I think it'll be somebody like maybe Chavez Jr. at cruiserweight for like a bullshit WBA title.
By the way, people are throwing their names out there. I mean, Better Beef, dude. Even the retired great Olympian Andre Ward, who was on the broadcast, threw his name. Dude, Andre Ward,
box his fucking ears.
He would make him suffer for 12 rounds,
dude. And here's the thing: is I think a lot of guys who are like, I think Mike Coppinger was out there talking some shit about like, oh, it's sad to see all these high dude like. I don't think it's about the money. I think these dudes are genuinely pissed off at this point because I don't know how you're not pissed off if you're not a guy who's like, let's say you've dedicated your life to the sport, right? You've worked your ass off. Be Artur Beterbiev. Be 39 years old. You've worked your ass off. And it's not even about the fame, about the money, but you saw the guy you idolize, Mike Tyson, get brutalized by a man who's 31 years younger than him. Are you not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to fuck that guy up next time I see him? It's a human thing. Like I think
Mike's like a father figure to people, dude.
He is the elder statesman of boxing. So for him to be fucked up by a guy who's 27 years old and going into the fight, that's why I was disgusted because I'm like, dude, Jake Paul is not a good boxer, but he's fucking 27. He's 27 years old. 27 to 58 should never be in the same ring together. Like, you know who fought just I think yesterday? Oliver McCall is 59. But you know who he fought? He fought a 52-year-old guy out in Texas who was like 10-10. Like, just two old dudes going at it. I think Ike Ichibuchi is gonna. I think he's like 55. He got out of prison. Long story. He's resuming his boxing career. He's gonna be fighting a guy who's like 49 or some shit. That's fine. Those guys are within that age range. A 58-year-old should never be fighting a 27-year-old. We said that on the show last week, and we got told to fuck off. But you know, you guys saw what happened. As far as Jake Paul, like I said, I think he's gonna be Chavez Jr. next. That's my. I think best prediction. Maybe it'll be on Netflix. Maybe it'll be on The Zone. We'll see. I think we're kind of past the point of MMA guys being interesting. You get called out Conor, and it's like, dude, Conor McGregor is like 5'9", 175 right now, and you're weighing you're 6'1", 227. I'm begging. I'm at the point where it's like, I know he's not going to do it. Fight somebody at least in your weight class and age range. I don't even give a shit if they're a boxer at this point. Like this Mike Tyson thing is so fucked up that it's like, pull me back in. Give me Chavez Jr., give me KSI, give me something like that. Who else could he reasonably fight at this point? He's not going to get Canelo. He's not going to fight Daniel Dubois or Artur Beterbiev. He's not going to fight an actual good guy, you know? There's only so many names in this kind of space.
Unless he like really gets in his own head and he starts believing he can take out some of these guys. I don't think he can. I don't think he believes that just yet.
Yeah.
But he could get to that point where he's like, you know something? I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this, you know.
But I don't even know who he'd even reasonably face at this point. Like I said, the only guy I could think of is
And the thing is, he's in that, he kind of fucked himself because he's in a situation where he has to fight someone of some sort of relevancy or kind of some sort of name. Because if he goes and fights like these, he can do it, but he can't do it too long. You know what I mean? Like when he did the Andre August, and who was the other gentleman? I forgot.
Ryan Borland.
Like he can't get away with doing those too often because people will get disinterested really quick.
Exactly. So I don't really know what shit, dude. Oliver McCall did call out Jake Paul, so maybe that's the answer. 59-year-old Oliver McCall, man. So I don't know. Jokes aside, Mike Tyson said that he may or may not retire. He showed maybe interest in maybe fighting Logan Paul. Do you have, or maybe a trilogy with Evander Holyfield? Just old guy shit. Do you have any interest?
If it's old guy stuff, then so be it. You know. Mike. Let's not like pretend like Mike didn't get something. Mike did make $40 million, I believe, is the reported or the rumored number.
So the rumored number, $20 million for Mike, $40 million for Jake.
So it's not like Mike didn't get to make a decent bid, and he was doing this out of his own goodwill. He wanted to do this.
He did.
This was an adult who made a decision out of in his well of mind to make a decision on his own, and
exactly
went through it with it. And luckily for him, he came out pretty well, man.
He did. He came out fine, and I think it's the best case scenario, really, for honestly, for him not getting hurt, it's the best case scenario.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm telling you. When round 3 happened, I started
tearing up.
I didn't tear up. Like I had that feeling, that feeling in your eyes.
Yeah.
Like I had that feeling in my eyes of like,
if I had to watch Jake Paul knock Mike Tyson stiff, I'd fly down to Dallas and fight him myself. Like that's what I'm, but with like a gun, like I'm not gonna,
because it wasn't gonna be just like a knockout, dude. Like
yeah.
That was gonna be some fucked up damage in that body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he could have, could have gone real bad.
Dude, he could have hit his head. There could have been a brain bleed. Like you never.
Yeah, at that age, that stuff, you're way more susceptible. But he made it out all right. It is what it is. We'll talk about it a little bit for the rest of the card. I don't have too many deep thoughts on it though. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, unanimous win for Katie Taylor. A lot of people were calling this like the worst robbery of all time. A lot of people were calling out Katie for being dirty.
I was really confused. I'll tell you what afterwards. Did you think Katie Taylor won, by the way?
No, I did not. I thought Amanda Serrano won 8 rounds.
I thought Amanda won this one, and I thought she won the last one.
I thought Katie Taylor won the last one. Edged it out. I think maybe 7-5. If I remember correctly.
But it's a close fight. They've both been close fights.
The first fight was not a robbery. I think definitely the case the second one was, but even then, I didn't think it was like I could see how they came to that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like it was a close fight. Although I will say
no one was screaming robbery in that one, but people were like, "Well, I thought Serrano won."
Yeah, the second fight was rough. The second fight was rough. I do think a lot of the stuff is over the top. The way they're going at Katie Taylor, like I can't think of the guy's name. Is it Jordan Maldonado?
I think you're right. Yeah.
He's a piece of shit coach. I've never liked that motherfucker though. Like after, I have to go back. He was taunting one of her most recent opponents in the corner. I think it was Danilo Ramos. Like just taunting her specifically, like talking shit to her, like from across the ring in between rounds. And I'm like, God, what a piece of shit. And then he called out Katie Taylor saying she was being dirty, headbutting. Look, dude, I've watched a lot of Katie Taylor fights. She's not dirty at all. It's a southpaw fighting an orthodox. That shit's gonna happen. And that's all I have to say about it. Like Katie Taylor's not a dirty fighter. She's how deep in the sport now? 38, I think.
Yeah.
Like she's been around the block, man. Katie Taylor's not a dirty fighter. I hate seeing all the shit because you got the Netflix casual fans who saw this fight too, and they don't know anything about the sport. They're just hearing, Amanda Serrano say she got headbutted and her coach talking shit. And to their credit, I didn't think Mauro Ronaldo and the boys in the booth did a great job either, kind of in this fight or the main event. I was pretty disappointed, not gonna lie, with the commentary on Friday night, but it was what it was.
For them, it was a good fight, man. I gotta give her that. I think it's disappointing because it's like they've made some of the most money they have facing each other ever in their careers, like at the end of their careers.
Yeah,
and the fact that Amanda herself is potentially missing out on another payday is kind of a letdown because it feels like she should have got the nod this time around, and it could have set up for a third major fight and potentially a send-off fight for both of them.
They may fight again, though.
You could sell it, but it's kind of like, damn, you know what I mean? It's like people are going to be like, oh, well, now they're just trying to do it so Amanda can get one over her. You know what I mean? You know how people are.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, she got her one. Is that the end of it now? You know what I mean? You know how people are going to be.
No, I agree. I don't really know what either one of these gals to do next. I think they should fight each other again. A trilogy send-off would be perfect for both, honestly. But I don't know. Maybe she'll fight Chantel Cameron.
Make a fuck ton of money and ride off at the sunset.
Exactly. It makes so much sense. And honestly, dude, like, this fight was the one that I saw people kind of praising on Friday. Like, people didn't really give a shit about the main event, but like the co-main event, the casual fans were like, "Fuck."
Well, there was a bunch of memes from it. What was the one I kept seeing was like the girls before the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. They kept posting shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, and people were like making it seem like it's kind of like, guys, these girls have been around for years.
Oh yeah, man.
They've been around forever. Like, we watch this shit on a regular basis. I'm sorry you've had to miss out until now. I'm happy.
But the first fight was better than the second too. You know, like.
Yeah. So I'm happy that people got to see this. They got like female boxing got its love because the state of female boxing is not its best. They're trying.
I think it's arguably better than female MMA though.
At times.
Yeah.
At times, I wouldn't say, but dude, the issue is too and it's. I mean, like they've said it publicly, like women in MMA make more than female boxing. You know,
they do.
Right now, some numbers have been broken and some.
That's true.
So, but granted, that has been after how many years and at the highest echelon,
Exactly.
So
yeah, these gals got a lot of attention, and I'd love to see that, man.
They got their love. They got their love.
They
which is all that
deserved it.
matters.
It was the fight of the night. Although Mario Barros, Abdul Amos, oh man,
I did not see that one coming. Once again, these boys like done set it up for everybody too.
Yeah, Mario Barrios ended up being a split draw, so I had no problem with that. It was back and forth.
It was a banger.
Rounds. I didn't really.
You know what's sad though? This fight might not happen again though.
No, I'm sure it won't.
Just because what's his name was coming in, kind of like fill in. He wasn't, or he was.
Ramos just kind of like fell into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
It's supposed to be someone else, I think.
Yeah, I can't find it though.
Regardless, though, there's a high chance this fight doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
because I don't think it was intended to happen. Initially.
No, and he was also a WBC champion, so they'll have to be ordered to fight again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they'll do that. WBC is one of the weirder organizations, so I don't know. Narish Gorat, Winterson Nunes was a shitty fight. I actually was really disappointed with that one, to be quite honest.
I thought it'd be better.
Yeah, like it's a freak show fight, so I like your limits are kind of capped. But I thought like Winterson Nunes would go for it more, and I thought Narish Gorat was just kind of doing these slap punches, not really.
He was in there for the memes, dude.
Yeah, I mean he humped him at one point.
That's assault.
That's yeah. In the words of that's assault, brother. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe Narish Gorat will be he could be the guy that fights Jake Paul next. Like they've talked about that one for a while. I mean, it'd be terrible, but he'd easily win. I mean, if you're anyways. As far as the rest of the card, Cheaties Avery picked up a win. Bruce Carrington picked up a win. Overall, give me your thoughts, man. As the event of a whole, like, what did you think about it? Did Netflix do a good job? Do you want to see more?
This was like a 5.5
out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I mean, the broadcast was really fucked. Like, I mean, granted though, the two like actual like professional boxers that were in there in the main card, like they'd put out like the two bouts.
They did well.
They did well. So I mean, they kind of. I mean, maybe like a 6.5. But it's because of them though that I can even increase it. Like outside of that, it was pretty rough. But the broadcast, like when the broadcast was working, it was kind of nice and all that, and the event felt grand and the walkouts were cool and everything. But there was a lot of issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, I'd have to put it around.
By the way, did you like Jake's walkout?
No.
Why? You didn't get it?
No.
It was a reference to The Hangover.
Oh, really? No, I did not get it.
You ever seen The Hangover?
Yeah.
But remember the scene with Mike on the piano?
Oh, shit.
That's the song that's playing.
You know what? I did not pick up on that. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I'd give the event a 5 out of 10.
That's when he walked out to it. I was like, oh, shit. Like, it's a tiny little thing, but I thought it was cool.
Oh, well, shit. That would have been way cooler if I knew that on Fight Night. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I thought...
Hey, Mike's walkout was pretty badass, too, though.
Yeah, but then, like, I was like, dude, he looks so old.
But then you saw the follow-up to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I thought the presentation was not great. I thought the streaming issues were huge. I thought the commentary booth was pretty terrible, honestly. It was disappointing me, man, because I really like those guys. I like Mara, I like Roy, I like, I can't think of her name right now, but I've seen her do some other stuff too.
I feel like they just weren't interested.
Yeah, they were trying to sell the main event, and we're not doing a great job about it either. And also, like, let me get one quick.
I think they needed someone like what's his name who does all the Misfit stuff too.
Who? Todd Grisham?
No, not Todd.
Ben Davis?
No.
Adi Oladipo?
No, white American guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name though.
I can't think of his name either, but I feel like they should have had him.
Yeah. Anyways, man.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name right now.
The thing I hated, by the way, one last thing, since we're talking about the commentary, after the fight, they were like, well, The fight wasn't great, but you got to respect what Jake Paul's brought to boxing. I'm like, man, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't at all. I don't at all. That fight was fucking terrible, you know. I feel every single time he has a fight, the commentators, because they're hired by him, they have to give him like a tongue bath, and it's just kind of weird, you know. But anyways, man. Speaking of tongue baths, it was the Republican National Convention. Oh shit, UFC 309 going down from New York City, Madison Square Garden. Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic in the main event. We kind of said heading into the fight, if this is not prime Stipe, if this is Stipe of a few years ago, maybe he can put up a fight. Maybe he could pull off an upset. No, he in theme of the weekend, he looked his age. He was 42 years old, damn near 43.
Hadn't fought in 4 years.
Hadn't fought in 4 years, and ends up losing by third round knockout.
By the way, just to give you an idea, since from I forgot what year it was. But the last time, before Jon Jones, the last time he fought someone who wasn't named Daniel Cormier or Francis Ngannou was Junior Dos Santos in 2017.
That's insane.
He didn't fight someone different until 2024 with a 4-year gap in that was named Jon Jones.
Yeah, shit, dude, you're right. Holy shit, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I mean... And you know what the thing is too, man? It's like, God, like he looked his age out there, man. I mean, there's
7 years.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, 7 years to fight only to just alternate between Ngannou and
two
Cormier.
Dead men, two former UFC fighters who are no longer alive. Rest in peace, Elias Theodorou. Rest in peace,
Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Anthony Rumble Johnson. Both those men are now gone. They have both passed of illness. Both have more recent wins than Stipe Miocic, who fought this past Saturday night.
Not only fought for the heavyweight title, my boy. Fought for the heavyweight title. Somehow still ranked number 8, by the way.
I had to say that. I had to put that out there one last time, man, just to like write the perspective of this fight.
Yeah. And yeah. Look, dude, 4 years is a long time. And he looked like a 42-year-old man out there. He came forward. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, before you even get like really into it, I think we need to address this really quick too, because John said this prior to the fight.
Go ahead.
And I think he said it after the fight too. I might be wrong, but he said something along the lines of like, I don't want to fight. You know, they said this about Johnny Walker. They said this about who was the other guy?
He said Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes.
But no. I feel like he named some other guy outside of not including those two, but he put Johnny Walker and someone else in the same bubble. Thiago Santos. He put them two in the bubble. And he's like they said they were going to beat me, and he tried to compare that to Aspinall. The only difference is between those guys, that Tom Aspinall actually reached championship caliber and obtained an actual title from a number 1 contender against Sergey Pavlovich. It's an uncomparable thing that he's trying to do.
Jon Jones, here's the thing, man. I don't want to say he's destroying his legacy, because the same people who are going to worship Jon Jones right now are going to continue worshiping Jon Jones. I'm seeing people defend the fact that he does not want to fight Tom Aspinall, and they're saying, well, you know, who really cares about Tom? Just another guy. You're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. You're a complete fucking moron if you think you know anything about the sport, man. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's not earned the fight. He's not earned the right to fight Jon Jones. He's earned the right more than Anthony Smith has. He's earned the right more than Dominic. He has a fucking title. He is the interim heavyweight champion. He's defeated, I think somebody pulled up the stats, like what, 8 of the fucking top 10 or some shit? Like, what are we doing here? Genuinely, what the fuck? Okay, we'll pull it up right now. Tom Aspinall, who's he beaten? Volkov, Pavlovich, Blades, Spivak, Tybura. That's...
Gon ducked him.
So that's fucking 6 of the top 10. What are we doing here? Why are we pretending that this is even a conversation? Oh, because Jon Jones is so good, he's earned the right to duck a guy, but he's not ducking because also if they thought he would beat him, and it's just like, dude, like they can't pick the fucking narrative they want.
I feel a lot of people too are like, oh, you guys just want Tom to fight Jon because you think he's gonna win. No, it's not that. It's because we actually care about fights and want to see the best fight the best.
He's earned the fucking shot. Why have rankings? Why have fucking belts then? Let's just go fucking boxing, motherfucker. He can fight. Oh, man. Derek Lewis next. Sure, Jon Jones against Derek Lewis. Who gives a shit? After that, he can fight Jonathan Denise. Who gives a fuck, right? Like, what are we doing here? Genuinely. What? Let's go see what Tim Sylvia's old ass is doing. You know what I mean? Like, let's just do that. I don't know, man.
He's gonna fight JDS, dude. One of the goats of heavyweight, you know? Like,
yeah, I couldn't believe people who were like, oh, bro, what do you mean? What do you mean? He who cares? Dude, he beat one of the goats, Stipe Miocic. Dude, yeah, You know what? Jake Paul also beat one of the GOATs in Mike Tyson that completely passed his prime. Like, fucking.
This fight was interesting at one point in time. Like, it had potential. It just aged out.
It just, yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing: is we said last week, if Stipe Miocic looks like the version that fought Francis Ngannou, he's probably going to lose, but at least it'd be like a competitive fight, right? We also talked to the fact that like last time we saw Stipe was that like a year ago when he kind of limped into Madison Square Garden. We were like, damn, that looks like a 41-year-old man. He goes in there. Stipe Miocic looked like he was fighting in a dream on Saturday night. He did. He was plodding forward. He couldn't set his feet. He looked uneasy from the first fucking bell. As far as like being on his feet, he looked shifty. He didn't look stable. And then he goes out there, gets taken down immediately. Nearly gets finished. He gets up. Round 2 was competitive. I saw one judge gave it to him, and I saw people were like, "Oh, that's crazy." But like, if you look at the stat counts, I really don't think it's that crazy to give round 2 to Stipe Miocic. It was a competitive round. Round 3, he gets finished. He got rocked before that. I mean, it was what it was. It's what I expected. So people were on there like just doing the same thing, giving him Jon Jones a fucking tongue bath, and it's like, man, like. Can we see him fight an actual contender yet? Like, he's been champion. Dude, there should never be a circumstance where the interim champion has a better title defense than the champion. Or has a more recent title defense. But that's what happened winning this fight. You know what I mean?
Dude, he beat Cyril Gahn, who got wrestle-fucked by Francis.
Let's also say this. He got wrestle-fucked by Francis Ngannou with no knees. It's not just that. And Ngannou fought with, like, torn shit in both of his knees. He was so injured, he sat out well over a year after that fight. So, yeah, man. I mean, I have very little to say about this fight because it's what I expected. You know, I tried to give hope last week in previewing the fight. I'm like, man, if he's of a few years ago, maybe it'll be fun. But he looked like a damn near 43-year-old man out there who hadn't fought in 4 years. So, I don't know, man. I don't have too many deep thoughts about it. The only thing I'll say before we move on. Do you think he will fight Tom Aspinall? He said that. Here's the thing. I'll give Jon Jones credit. He played everything perfectly on Saturday night. For all the shit heading into the fight, right? About he's ducking Tom and a lot of the hate and so on and so forth. He played everything perfectly. He goes out there. He dominates Stipe Miocic. Part 1 done. Round 2, he gets on the mic, right? And they're like, will you fight Tom Aspinall? Joe Rogan asked him. And he's like, I want to give a shout out to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And they're like, whoa, yeah, Jesus, you know? And then he's like, and I also want to give a shout out to Donald Trump. And they're like, fuck yeah, Jesus. And he's like, and without naming Tom, he's like, we'll see if we can give the fans what they want. And they're like, whoa. And then he goes to the post-fight press conference. He's like, yeah, I'm not fighting Tom Aspinall. Like,
I think it's all going to come down to negotiations.
Yeah.
I think it's all going to come down to negotiations.
I think he might fight him. He genuinely might.
He might, but no bullshit. I think he's still going to push for a Poetan fight. No bullshit. He's going to push for whatever works best for him. And that's going to be, maybe he can't get the amount of money he wants against fighting Tom, but he can get an amount of money that he likes against Poetan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he gets what he wants against Tom, and that's what the UFC wants to push for, then he'll fight Tom. It's completely in the UFC's hands now to come to a deal that will suffice Jon's needs.
Here's the issue, though, and we've seen this before. You know what Jon Jones said back in 2020 whenever he was talking about moving up to heavyweight to fight Ngannou? Or I guess it'd be 2021. You know what I mean? He said, I want that Deontay Wilder money, which is allegedly he got paid for the Fury fight around that time, around $30 million. He said on Saturday, I want that Jake Paul, Mike Tyson money. If you split the difference on those two, they made $30 million. They did not beat him the first time. I don't think they're going to beat him the second time. I think he said he wants.
What are the rumor numbers for this fight? I heard they were up there though.
Oh, there's no rumor numbers for this fight because it's in New York.
But there were some numbers that came out.
There were the reported payouts that were done by people who don't know shit about fuck when it comes to the sport.
I will say those numbers don't sound too crazy.
No, I saw one that said Stipe got paid $4 million.
Oh no, that's not the one I saw.
Okay, what is the one you saw?
I mean, I know it was a lower number, but I know for a fact it wasn't that Stipe made that much money.
Stipe did not make $1 million on Saturday night. I feel pretty confident saying that. I know. Maybe if he did, he made $1 million.
I wish I could find it, but I know for Jon, it seemed like I know it was $1 million plus.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm sure Jon made $2-3 million on Saturday, probably.
That's what I'm saying. It was somewhere around there.
They're paying him out the ass because they don't have many stars left, and he's one of them. So, I don't know, man. And we talked about this before we started filming, but like Jon was seeing how much he can get away with during the fight week. Like he was talking shit about Tom, saying I'm not going to fight Tom. He was doing the glove thing, obviously. They switched to the old gloves. And I feel like if you're thinking it's for any other reason than Jon Jones, you're lying to yourself. I'm sorry, man. If they actually would have done it, they would have done it before now. No, they just so happen to switch it for the eye poking guy. They're taking rid of the
you know what someone referenced, and it's like, dude, think about it. They moved his fight location when he popped. Why wouldn't they do something smaller like the gloves for him?
Yeah. I mean, Jon Jones, they have treated him way better than any other fighter in the company's history, which is so funny because he's such a fuck up and a piece of shit. It's like genuinely, like think all the times, like you pull up the motherfucker's Wikipedia page. It's controversy. He has a literal controversy section, right? He has not only that, a failed drug test section. They're not even the same one.
Well, dude, the thing is, it's like the reason I'll never respect Jon is because, dude, and also because the UFC will never put respect on guys who deserve it. Like, dude, no bullshit. Your former or your current flyweight champion of the world was driving fucking Uber to like make money to fight for his gym, like to make money for the gym so he could, pay the gym fee and then take care of his family. And no one talks about that shit. That's infinitely a more interesting human being to me than Jon Jones.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing, man, is like this is what they've done ever since Jon came back like a year and a half ago. Like I think they want to keep him around because they know they don't have many stars, and Jon Jones is the most active big star they have. So like that's why Dana's going balls to the wall, and in the process shitting on the other pound for pound fighters, being like, these dumbasses think Jon Jones is a number one and yada yada yada. And it's like, dude, Islam Makhachev should be above Jon Jones. ELYXR should be above Jon Jones. You know what I mean? At the very least, those two guys. If you want to have Poatan above him, I see the argument. I get it both ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's trying to I don't get Dana's logic because it's like, dude, you value 2 wins of a guy who didn't fight in 4 years, was coming off a loss, and then another guy who was, I don't know if Gon was coming. Was he coming off the Ngannou loss going into?
Gon was coming off, so he lost.
He was coming off the 2 loss of win.
Correct, which was a very back and forth fight where near you lost.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily expect that.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. And he's coming off that. Like, I don't know how you could put that above Islam. I mean, granted, people are trying to say, well, like Islam fought, Volk on short notice, yada yada, this and that, the other. He had the Charles win. He beat a featherweight, yada yada. But dude, Volk was, you gotta think about it, to put it into perspective, Volk was pound for pound number one heading into the fight against Islam. That fight was so fucking good that you thought Volk might have won, and upon rewatch, a lot of people actually changed their minds.
Yeah, I thought he won live on Fight Night rewatching. I still think he won. And then for the second fight too, that fight was so close. People forget that Volk was still pound for pound number one, which is insane to think about. Everybody was, even the rankings were like, shit, dude, he proved that he is pound for pound.
Just to put it in perspective, and to put the alien thing in perspective, this guy just beat 2 of the greatest featherweights in UFC fucking history, and it's not even questionable. Yeah. Max was coming off one of his best wins in his career, where he went up to 155 and knocked out Justin fucking Gaethje, one of the most dangerous men in the division. You cannot put those 2 wins Jon has over this in pound for pound ranking.
It's ridiculous.
Because if we're using that same logic, shit, Mike Tyson just fought a few nights.
Is Jake Paul? Here's a discussion Monday morning. Is Jake Paul pound for pound number one? Like, just like,
you know what I mean?
What are we doing here, man?
What are we doing here? Like,
yeah, man, beating a 42-year-old Stipe Miocic who has a shift on Friday night.
Roy hasn't stopped, dude. Roy might be number one still. He's coming off the pedal loss. He might have gone.
I don't know, man. Yeah, Roy Jones, man, five division champ. Get out of here, Usyk. Get out of here.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna use Dana's logic, like it gets infinitely hilarious once you get into it.
Yeah, and look, man.
I mean, shit, Josh, Andrei Arlovsky, man.
Arlovsky. But then by that logic, shouldn't Tom Aspinall be pound for pound number one? He beat Andrei Arlovsky. He's a former champion. Yeah, just saying.
It's funny. It's really funny when you start diving into it.
It's just, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Jose Aldo,
I'm at a loss for words.
Jose Aldo, he's still competing too, dude.
I'm at a loss for words with the way the UFC went about this fight week and the way they've gone about Jon Jones for the past year and a half. I'm at a fucking loss for words. Like they've given this guy they've paraded him around, and it's just so weird to me. Like, this is the same. Why did Jon Jones? Let's just go back to this. Why did he miss 3 years? Why did he miss 3 years of his prime? Why? Because he sat out because he didn't want to fight Francis Ngannou. That's what happened. And then in between that, he got arrested for beating the shit out of his fiance in front of the mother. He beat the shit out of the mother of his children in front of them in a hotel room. The room was covered in blood, according to the police documents. And motherfucker, you want to act like I'm the asshole for talking about this stuff? Like, people online, you know what I mean? It's just disgusting. And then after that, that's when you're like, oh yeah, he's defended him harder than ever. You know what I mean? Although I guess it makes sense for Dana. I mean, two birds of a feather. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say more than that. But we all saw the TMZ tapes. I mean, I'm just saying. You know. Yeah, man, they not like us. So, yeah, man, I have nothing else to say about this main event. The fight was what it was. Will he fight Tom Aspinall?
It's a coin flip at this point.
It's a coin flip. I mean, he's talked about it enough for me to think that he will do it. But at the same time, we've already been in a damn near identical situation with Francis.
I will say when that fight does happen, we need the fans to come out for that one though. We need the people.
Oh, they will,
because they fought for it. They fought for it, and they need to prove to the UFC and they prove to Dana White that it was worth making this fight. It was worth going through the effort.
Tom Aspinall is on his.
People still care about the best fighting the best.
Yeah, I can't even make a MMA comparison. He's Cody Rhodes of last year.
Someone said that. I heard someone else say that.
He is. Fans are pushing him into this position. Like, there have been champions who have not fought the interim champion before. Like, there's been weird circumstances, but there's never been a situation like this where everybody wants to see this fight, and John's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Don't want to. He's Johnny Walker or some shit. I mean, but
he's not. He's so far from it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the interim champion. He's defeated most of the top 10. Dumbass. It's one thing if John were to retire, and if he were to retire, I'd honestly be like, all right, top 3, go, bare minimum. And fantastic career, so on and so forth. Old guy fight to close it out. I'm cool with it. I genuinely wouldn't have an issue. But it's the fact that you're saying, I'll fight Alex Bahia, or I'll fight Derek Lewis, or I'll fight Jamal Hill. Those are the names he listed.
It's like, going to go back down to if he goes back down to 205, that's a different story, right?
That's completely different in my opinion. If you're going out to, but he didn't say that. He said he wants to do catch weight to like 220.
Oh,
like, dude, it's like, dude, you are not being fucking for real right now. Fight your interim champion. Fight the interim champion. Like, it's the same reason why I've got beef with Canelo
it's some
right
Floyd
now, man.
shit, dude. He's trying to pull a Floyd. Oh,
he's pulling a Floyd.
Don't worry, dude. John's gonna start asking for no rehydration clauses in his fucking contract now, dude.
Yeah, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That being said, I think we should go ahead and move on. Co-main event was a real fight. It was a real fight on Saturday night. Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Oh man, the Oliveira era is just getting started.
It never went away, goddamn.
Never went again. Never went away. Apologies. 49-46, 49-46, 49-45 were the scorecards. Oliveira dominates. Apparently, he went into the fight, actually, which kind of corroborating the rumors that he actually fought hurt. I can't remember the exact injury. I want to say it was something he tore something in like his knee or some shit.
I thought it was a broken foot. I could be wrong.
Let me double check. Actually, I don't want to get the incorrect information right now.
Did he come out with a public statement?
I think it was actually his coaches.
I remember afterwards he was he went on his Twitter and apologized. He's like, "Yeah, sorry guys for getting crazy in the 5th round."
God, I love Oliveira, dude. So he had a knee injury. He said he tore 2 ligaments in his knee.
There you go.
And he was talking about pulling out, but he couldn't do it. He was not going to do it. So, anyways, man, Charles Do Bronx Oliveira pulls off the win.
Do Bronx.
Shout out
the Bronx.
Yeah, shout out the Bronx. And then it goes, yeah, I know the exact edit. We're too online, dude. Like fucking Jesus.
Shout out the Bronx. Oh, dude, I love that shit. By the way, we gotta give Oliveira his flowers, but we also gotta talk about the other and Michael Chandler, right?
Yeah,
dude, guys, like people will like shit on Chandler. People make fun of Chandler. Guys, you need guys like Michael Chandler.
I don't get it, man.
Have you not been entertained? Once again, I'm gonna quote it. Have you not been fucking entertained every single time you've seen him fight?
If we're talking about all action, he's on one of the most entertaining runs in UFC history. I don't care. Is he winning these fights? Not all of them. No, but let's just run it.
The crazy thing is he could win all of them.
I know, but let's run it real quick. Dan Hooker knocked him out. Performance of the night.
Crazy debut.
Charles Oliveira. They actually didn't get winning bonuses for this one, which is kind of shocking, but it was a back and forth banger for 2 rounds, right?
Crazy for the title.
Justin Gaethje, November, lost by unanimous decision. Fight of the night. For me, top 3 fight of all time. I mean, it's genuinely up there. And we knew that going into the fight. Like, he's like, yeah, we're going to put on the greatest fight of all time. And they actually fucking did it. Like, that's insane, like, just insane to think about. Tony Ferguson, knockout win, performance of the night, banger. Tony nearly won that one too, you know?
Crazy finish.
Took whatever was left of Tony Ferguson's prime in that fight. Dustin Poirier, fight of the night. Charles Oliveira, fight of the night. What more do you want? Is he over the top in his talk of I'll see you at the top? Does the constant, you know, I guess I don't know what actually people hate about him. Like he's just kind of like
People just shit on him. They're like,
he's an American. He's an American. You know, I can't even think of a comparison, dude. He's like if Ned Flanders was all about Trump, basically. You know what I mean? Like about Trump and working out. You know what I mean? Like of The Simpsons. You know,
dude. He's just to me, he's like a Kurt Angle. Dude. He's just crazy out there, athletic, like the WWE character Kurt Angle, not like IRL Kurt Angle.
Oh man, but you know what? Kurt won an Olympic medal with a broken neck, Angel. God damn it! Shit. What a goat.
Dude, if Chandler had a neck injury and he had to fight for a title, you know he'd go fight for it.
Oh, you know he would.
And he'd fight the way he did. That's the crazier part. That's why I'm making that comparison.
Yeah, man, he's a fucking legend. And did he win this one? No. Were there back of the head shots in the 5th round? Yeah.
Man, we got to talk about, dude, the fouls in this fight were
plenty.
In this fight were horrific. I mean, Keith Peterson, I mean, he might have been out last night drinking, smoking before this. I had to bring it to a callback, man. Dude, it was bad, dude. There was multiple cage grabs. There might have been some glove grabs in there that weren't called out. I mean, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I ain't gonna lie, but
honestly, yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, at what point, you know, do we take action? And like, I always reference this man. I'm gonna say it one more time. Luke Thomas. He's like, if they're not gonna enforce it, then why the fuck wouldn't you do it? If they're not, there's no downside to it. You know, if nothing's gonna be done about it, then why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's bizarre to me.
It's a shitty thing. I mean, it's shitty to see. It's shitty if it affects the fight in some capacity. But it is true. If nothing's going to be done about it, why wouldn't you do it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's the same thing at your job. You know, if no one's doing anything about it, why would you quit doing it? You know?
Yeah. There's no. I mean, why do you think? God, this is a crazy thing to say to bring it back around. But why do you think Jon Jones beats his wife and does all this crazy shit? Because he's never had any consequences in his entire fucking life as a grown man for doing the fucked up shit he does. You know what I mean? He gets rewarded for doing fucked up shit. Michael Chandler, same thing. He nearly won the fight by doing illegal shit, dude. I mean, why would you not do it if you're not going to do anything about it? You know? Do I still love Michael Chandler? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to lie with you, man. I mean, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying. And the words of, you know, the late, great Eddie Guerrero.
I lie, I cheat, I steal.
Viva la raza. Am I right, folks? Charles Oliveira, though, man, let's bring it back to him. He should be fighting for gold next. I don't give a shit.
He will see you at the top.
Actually, yeah, he will. I don't give a shit. Here's the thing, man. Why would you not want to see an Islam Oliveira 2 fight? Genuinely. Like the first fight was pretty lopsided, yeah. But like
no bullshit, like pull up the Oliveira record.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's just run it down, dude. I mean, 35 years old. This is probably his last time he's gonna fight for gold, presumably. The resume still exited. The only losses is that split decision loss to Arman Sarukian. And
which he fought his ass off in and could have won. And if it was if that was a championship fight against Arman Sarukian, I gotta say Oliveira had a damn good chance at capturing gold right there.
Absolutely, I agree. You're talking about a guy who's just an all-time great man, a former champion. I mean, he went out there and knocked out Benny Dariush whenever we were looking like, oh shit, Benny. I mean, honestly, Benny deserved a title shot. They kind of fucked over Benny.
Also, Charles is an undisputed top 3 lightweight. Yeah. He's one of the greatest lightweights of all time. It's not even. Dude, he beat Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, who are in this era with him.
I mean, yeah, like let's just run it down, dude. Let's take a look at the top 10, okay? So he lost to Sarukian.
Close fight.
Beat Gaethje, beat Poirier. I'm not going to include Holloway because he lost to Holloway, but that was a fight a decade ago down at featherweight where he lost by injury. Mm-hmm. Take that one out of it. Dan Hooker, didn't fight Dan Hooker, I believe. May have fought. No, he did not.
He didn't.
Just want to double check though. Beat Chandler twice, has not fought Gamrot, knocked out Dariush, and that's it. So overall, beat most of the top 10 in regards to like the top 5. I mean, to beat Poirier, Gaethje, Chandler, like a combined 4 wins over those guys, that's huge. Like I said, beat Benny whenever Benny was just killing it. If you don't want to see the title shot, I don't know what you would want to see. Honestly, if you take a look at the top 10, the only other guy you could argue is Hooker, who had an even more lopsided loss to Islam. And I still think he needs one more too. So I don't know, man. Yeah, do Bronx. Shout out the Bronx. You know?
Shout out the Bronx.
Shout out the Bronx. Anyways, man, we're gonna spend 3 seconds on this fight. Bo Nickel defeats Paul Craig via unanimous decision 30-27 across the board in a fight where it was entirely on the feet for 15 minutes and they still somehow landed under 100 significant strikes combined. Yeah, this
that's
fight
impressive. That's a talent.
That's talent. Yeah, terrible fight. Give me your thoughts though.
I mean, look, if there was a fight where Bo wanted to just like test himself on the feet and kind of do some stuff, I think this was the intelligent one to do it in because he didn't have a lot of risk on the feet. He would be able to, go if he wanted to put himself in any kind of danger, he could choose the kind of danger he could put himself in. And afterwards, he talked about it. He's like, why would I take to the fight where he wants the fight to be? Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, as much as you hate it, his logic makes sense. Like,
no, I mean, yeah.
He made a smart decision. He went out there and fought that fight and won the fight. That's why he's there. He's not there to... It sounds bad. Like, fighting is entertainment, and it's becoming more entertainment than fighting, Yeah. But Bo went out there and did his job. Like, he wanted to win, and he got the win.
Yeah. This is the fight that made me think for sure, though, let's pump the brakes.
Exactly. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Because it's one thing to go out there and have, like, a struggle or two against Cody Brundage.
By the way,
like the first
I thought about the perfect next matchup.
Yeah, what?
Gregory Rodriguez.
RoboCop.
RoboCop. Hard fight.
I love that.
Hard ass fight.
Give me that. Yeah, give me that fight. Unranked guys too. I like that. This is definitely the fight that made me think. Like, if he would have won this one in impressive fashion, I would have been like, oh shit, give him fucking Joe Pyfer. Give him, Fluffy Hernandez or some shit.
Fluffy just got booked.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like those types
no.
of matchups,
No, I'm just bringing it up.
I got you.
Conversation.
No, I got you. But yeah, I mean, this is the one that made me think pump the brakes. It's one thing to struggle, like going for like a takedown, because Cody Brundage kind of like reversed him a couple different times, But that was like, he still got the win and still had like
I wonder if it was a wake up moment for him, or if he still thinks like, I'm gonna keep running through these fucks.
It could be. I hope it is for him.
From when he made it sound, it's like he wanted to come back a lot earlier next year, right?
He should stay active. I don't know why the fuck he's.
I've always said it. Bo should have at least 2 to 3 more fights already on his record.
Yeah, I don't know why he's doing this 2 fights a year shit, man. And it's entirely him too, because he's talked about this like on like his podcast or whatever, which is incredibly boring. Because no offense to Bo Nickel, but like I mean is interesting as sliced bread basically. Yeah, just like like literally talking to sliced bread. Like that's what he is. Like he's a white dude out of fucking what? Wyoming, I think.
Somewhere.
Yeah, he's both like all his life is entirely athletic sports. No offense to him.
Which is cool though.
Yeah, good for him. But he's talked about on his podcast like he wants to fight on big cards. That's exclusively what he wants to fight on. That's why I remember him after his last win, he beat Cody Brundage. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna wait for MSG. And prior to that, before he fought Cody Brundage, he's like, all right, I'm waiting for UC 300. Like that's like these are his decisions.
The thing though is, I feel like if he has a manager or someone who's helping or whoever it is, helping him manage his fight career, he needs like that person needs to talk to him and be like, hey, like we need to get those reps in. We need to get in there because we need to get you experience. We need to get you time. Like we don't know how Bo Nickel's gonna look when he's cut up. If he and granted, these things could never happen in his career because he could be just that fucking good.
Yeah, he could.
But what's gonna happen with Bo Nickel doesn't get the takedown the first time? What's gonna happen when he's down on the cards in the 3rd or 4th round? What's gonna happen when he's cut up, bleeding, and the fight's about to get stopped? Is he gonna keep going? What's gonna happen when he gets knocked down and he needs to get back up and go for a fucking single leg and hang on for dear life and survive to the end of the round and come back in the following and turn up the heat and get the fucking guy out of there? Like those are things he needs to put himself through now, because you don't want to be in a championship fight against someone who has like, and most of these guys in his division are pushing in who are ranked at least 20 plus fights. You can go through the rankings. I'm pretty sure all guys at middleweight have almost 20 plus fights, if not 25 plus fights, not including their AMI career. These guys have lifetime of experience on him. And yeah, he might be that fucking good, but we don't fucking know that yet.
Exactly. And also in regards to this fight with Paul Craig, man, I understand that you're trying to work on your striking. I would have liked to see more. He worked on his striking, but it was very kind of passive. Like it was like, all right, I'm just getting a win here. Like he didn't really go for it. I would have liked to see him go for it, and even having some exchanges on the mat would have been fun to see. Like I feel like we didn't learn anything.
If he can make it into the rankings, we're going to see the real Bo Nickel when he makes it. Once they give him top 15 guys.
I agree with you, but I don't have anything else to say about this fight. Yeah, I mean, moving one down, Viviana Araujo defeats Curry Silva. It was a fun fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight out of them.
No, back for 15 minutes. Unanimous decision win. I don't got a whole lot to say.
Upset, right?
Yeah, correct. Upset.
Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, same here.
Good for her though.
Yeah, the real fight of the card, man. Mauricio Uffy defeating James Lontop, I believe. Is how you pronounce the name?
It's clean, man. You see the potential. I mean, the way he fights, the way he looks. I mean, to me, it looks like an Izzy Connor fusion.
Yes.
With some of the ways he does things defensively,
the no look punch,
the leaning back.
Yeah.
The kind of karate like stance that he'll throw out there. I mean, he's interesting. I think one thing that I did hear someone call him out is like he has kind of like come at me offense. You know what I mean? Like once a guy comes in, he'll throw and exit or whatever. But he doesn't have a lot of like stuff like who won't necessarily always go forward and throw directly. Like creating the interaction always. Yeah,
I think with him, let's take it a little bit slow. But I also think that he does have the potential.
He's
very fun. He's very fun. You could throw like 3 more unranked guys at him, and I don't think I could win.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like there's no necessity to speed up anything there. Like I'll be entertained. And on top of that, there was a weight change for this fight that could have also played a factor.
Catch weight, yeah.
Who do you fight again?
James Lontop.
Dude, that guy was tough as nails.
He came out on short notice, I believe, too. And
can I be honest? I thought he was gonna get ran through.
Yeah, so same. I mean, he got stopped by Chris Padilla, and he lost a decision to Vasyslav Borshev last time out. Yeah. So I hope they keep this kid around though, but we'll see.
Chris Padilla, Taco Meat or whatever he goes by, some shit like that.
Yeah. Anyways, and then the prelims featured a couple of big wins in Marcus McGee, Jonathan Martinez. I had higher expectations for this fight, but it was but dude, Marcus McGee's ranked though.
He's ranked now. Like what a fucking story. No one knew who this guy was a few years ago. No one gave a shit about him locally. No one saw him as like a top prospect who's going to come into bantamweight. Yeah, and look at the position. An older bantamweight. Yeah. Granted, I will say. The title run starts tomorrow though, so I hope he's able to get matchups quick. I hope they give him opportunities. I hope guys fight him who are above him because time is not in his favor.
Exactly. Marcus McGee, let me check. 34 years old, going to be 35 in 5 months.
So that's what I'm saying. The title run starts tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll keep it going, man. Jim Miller defeats Damon Jackson. God damn, Jim Miller.
Dude, what a Chad. I picked him to win that fight.
A10. Man, still winning fights. Extended the record for most UFC wins in history. He's won 3 of his last 4. That only loss being the banger with Bobby Green at UFC 300. Love to see him, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him get another. If maybe after one more fight, maybe give him a ranked guy. You know what I mean, doing something fun with him. He said he's gonna after 50 UFC fights, he's gonna call it a day. I believe he's at 45 right now. So we're looking at 5 more fights.
What a Chad.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to be the right fights. That's the only issue.
Exactly. David Onama defeats Roberto Romero. Unanimous decision win. Man, David Onama's a problem, but man, you got to give some props to Roberto Romero.
Came in on short notice.
Yeah, short notice.
He's young. He's like 23, 24.
Exactly.
I thought he was going to get ran through. I thought just the circumstances were not in his favor. Look, like at the start of the fight, he looked pretty good. Like I was like, holy fuck, no way this kid's about to do this like this. Then after that, it kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, like showed some potential. I thought that was pretty cool, man.
I agree.
Props to him.
I agree. Man, Marcin Tybura, you got to give this dude some credit, dude. I mean, 39 years old, the longtime gatekeeper at heavyweight, goes out there and just brutalizes Jonathan Deniz.
By the way, how did you feel about Johnny Deniz? Like, I don't even know exactly what it's about. I've already pronounced on the broadcast. But how did you feel about Deniz, like, when everything was getting stopped? Like, he was pissed.
He was pissed. I like to see that, but at the same time, dude, you looked like...
He looked like shit.
He went 5 rounds of Freddy Krueger, my boy. I mean, his face was just cuts all over the place. I mean, Marcin Tybura...
I mean, if that was pride, he goes out for one more.
Probably. But maybe not. I don't know, man. Those cuts were vicious, dude.
They were.
Like, he looked like he went through a fucking wood chipper. But
I would love to see it. Probably not a good thing that I wanted to see it. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I could be honest with myself, but damn, did it look interesting.
Yeah, Tybura though, great win, man. I mean, he's a guy who started to grow. He started to grow on me over time. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys who I think like can win or lose depending who it is, like just on any given night.
Exactly. He's a good heavyweight gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Ramiz Brahmaj murders Mickey Gall. Not a whole lot to say here, but that's gotta be it for Mickey Gall.
7-7 for Mickey Gall.
That has to be it.
Heartbreak. I mean, that's the end of the career. I hate to say it.
I mean, 4 losses in a row.
I had hopes for Mickey, man. Whenever he started training with Matt Brown, I thought he could maybe improve his striking. Maybe that would be the game changer. I think for him, his whole career was in the UFC, but I feel like he needed to have the right people around him. I'm not saying he didn't.
Yeah,
but there had to be a change. Like he had to bring someone in. I think he would have benefited from being with someone like Antonio McKee.
I don't even think it's that. I think he's gone. Whenever he was young, he went to a lot of different gyms. He went to TriStar. He went to Matt Brown. He's gone with a different.
That's what I'm saying. But he needed to settle with someone, and I feel like that person who would have been good would have been like a guy like Antonio McKee.
I agree. Antonio McKee, I think, is one of the best guys for kind of guiding young talent. But at the same time, I think the biggest issue is the fact that he got signed to the UFC whenever he was so young and had one pro fight.
I mean, he that's what I'm saying. He needed someone like that to come out, or he needed to take a page out of Aaron Pico. Granted, later in Aaron Pico's career or something, he could have been something. Man, he beat Sage Northcutt, dude. Like Sage was good, and Sage is still good now, and
He-
Sage is a free agent now too.
I mean, yeah, and it's not even that, man. Like he beat Sage, he beat Jordan Williams, who Jordan Williams, people forget, nearly knocked out Ian Machado Gary. You know, he had a fun fight with Diego Sanchez. He nearly beat Randy Brown. He nearly beat him and Mike Malott were trading for a round. He nearly beat Basil Hafez, who got knocked out on this card by Oban Elliott. We'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, Mickey Gall, man, he just got pushed too soon. It is what it is. We'll talk about that Oban Elliott fight. Man, Oban Elliott's the shit. Like this fight we had this one up as like one of those like you got to tune in for this fight. It lived up to the hype, man. Oban Elliott, 26 years old, 12-2. He got the what is it? He got hyped up by Chael Sonnen before the fight. I'm not sure if you saw that clip.
I did.
Yeah, and knocked him out, man. Brutal knockout. Love to see. What do you think about the Welsh gangster, man?
He's good. I mean, he's definitely in people's ballot for Rookie of the Year. He had a pretty solid year. Came in, did some solid work. I mean, have you seen any of his interviews with Ariel? Great. If you have,
Oh yeah, I watched the most recent one.
I recommend anybody out there who's listening just to check that out. He's a very interesting guy. A lot of potential. I'm excited to have him around, dude. I mean, once again, dude, these fucking welterweight is the division. At one point, I would say it was lightweight. It is welterweight now. Like welterweight is the division.
It's taken some time, but I would agree. Yeah,
welterweight's the fucking division. And no, I mean the future's bright for Oban Elliott. I mean, I'm excited to see his next fight. Curious to see how long it takes for him to get to that like next level. Granted, one thing I do want to mention, I would always see him he fought on Cage Warriors. I would always see his name. I didn't keep an eye on him or anything, but I always saw his name there popping up on cards. So it's nice to see that he reached the UFC and it's kind of in the situation he is now. Yeah. So talk about the other half though, Josh. Basil Hafez, what a letdown in the fight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from a guy who nearly beat Jack Della Maddalena, who could be challenging for a title, to kind of that result to have it in credit. Obviously that occurred because of how Oban Elliott fought in his performance, but I thought this fight was going to be. I would not put money on this fight. It was going to be too hard to predict.
Absolutely.
But after how it played out, you're kind of like, damn, maybe.
It's just the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Interesting. And then opening up the card is Mora handing Veronica Hardy her first loss in a few years. Fun fight. Still 29. Veronica Hardy she'll be back. It was a fun fight. It is what it is. I don't have too many deep thoughts on it. That being said, we're going to move on because we have UFC Macau going down Saturday night. Technically, going to be like Saturday morning for us in the States.
Like 2 a.m. Some shit like that. I looked at it.
Galaxy Arena in Macau, China. Man, this card's got some big names, man. It's got some big prelims, so. But the main card, I like it a lot. Petr Yan in the main event, taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. Obviously, we know the story here. Petr Yan, no mercy, coming off a unanimous decision win or Song Yadong in March. He had a laundry list of injuries after that fight. Had to get a few surgeries, and we thought maybe he's going to be out until midpoint of 2025. It looked really bad. In the end, though, he ends up booking a return for this weekend. Still lost 3 of his last 5, but you look at those losses: Merab Dvalishvili, Sean O'Malley, and Aljamain Sterling. No shame in any of those losses. And now taking on the former champion, 36 years young, going to be 37 in a month. Deiveson Figueiredo is looking the greatest he's looked in a long time. He's moving up to 135. He dominated Rob Font. He dominated Cody Garbrandt, and he dominated Marlon Chito Vera. Coming into this one, let me pull up the line, actually. I want to get it. I don't want to get it wrong. It could have changed since yesterday. No, it is not. Okay, so the current line from our friends over at BetMGM, if you actually want to follow that link down below, you can get $1,500 of free bets. If you don't hit, contact 1-800-GAMBLE if you have any problems. But if you want to throw some money down on the fight this weekend, Petr Yan is a -300 favorite according to BetMGM. Meanwhile, Deiveson Figueiredo coming back as a +240. Man, I got to say, wide odds. Wider than I would think for this fight, man. Give me your thoughts on it. Who do you got winning, Petr Yan and Deiveson Figueiredo?
I mean, we kind of have to set up the story. I mean, we got former champ versus former champ here. One at 35, one at 25. And I want to start this conversation like this, guys, because I want to ask the public this. If Deiveson Figueiredo is to win this fight and challenges for the title and becomes 125 champion, where does he end up on the all-time great list? Because this is a conversation we got to start having because he's putting himself kind of in that position. Like, this is why this is a great matchup, because that storyline in of itself is fucking insane. This is the importance of this fight. This is a fight with consequence. This is a fight with importance. Look, I showed Josh earlier today. I was like, I showed him the clip of Joseph Benavidez getting knocked out by Deiveson Figueiredo, like brutally getting knocked out. And I was like, dude, Can anybody blame me for thinking this at the time that this guy was going to dominate 125 until he ran into Brandon Moreno? Because he really was. He was really decimating motherfuckers out there, especially when he got the belt. Things have been a little different at 135, but he's still trucking along. He's doing his thing. He's been impressive. All I gotta say is, I'm not sleeping on the former 125 champ. I want to see the story get played out. I want to live in that fairy tale. I'm gonna have to go with David Figueiredo on this one.
Yeah, for me, it really comes down to how this fight's going to play out. I think on the feet, there's a 50-50 matchup with Peter Yan. Probably outbox him. I think Figgy has more power, though. You've seen that carry, and the motherfucker nearly finished Marlon Cheeto Vera, man. I mean, he got closer to shooting Cheeto Vera than almost anybody we've seen. Yeah, man, I've been very conflicted on this one, but I think a lot of people probably expected a banger, probably expecting a war. I think Figgy's going to flip the script on him, man. I think Peter Yan, we've seen him have a lot of susceptibility to takedowns. Aljamain Sterling took him down. Marv Bosch really had something like 22 minutes of control time when he really fought. Something insane. I think Peter Yan could win this fight, but I like the dog. I'm taking Davidson Figueiredo. I'm right with you, brother. I think he's a different man at 135. A completely different man. We never realized just how much those weight cuts were killing him. But they were killing him so much because he looks like a completely different human being.
He's gonna look so small out there.
Yeah,
he's gonna look so small out there. But he's a little Goliath, dude.
He really is, and I don't think there's much of a size difference. We saw them face off earlier this week, and I didn't think there was much of a size difference.
I don't know, but when Cheeto and Davison stepped in there, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it did look different, but it didn't matter.
No.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm rolling with the upset. Another fight though, co-main event. I like this fight a lot, man. Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricci, 11-2, has won, I believe, 6 of her last 7. Only lost to Lupi Godinez last November, and we love Lupi on this show, man. No shame in losing to Lupi. Taking on Jan Jonan. Jan Jonan has not been seen since she got knocked out, submitted, and lost by decision to Zhang Weili back in April. And one of the funniest fights I've ever seen. However, that being said, dude, she came alive in those championship rounds. You have to give her so much credit to not actually get finished. Although she got knocked out, did get submitted, pretty much went to sleep. It was a whole thing. You guys remember UFC 300. That being said here, man, I like this fight a lot. Who do you got here? According to the current line, though, Jan Jonan -210, fighting in her home country of China. Tabitha Ricci, a +170 dog.
I mean, it's a hard fight to call, man. Tabitha Ricci, I think she's a live dog. I feel like she's just short of breaking through, but I think it's skill set, though. I don't think it's just a matter of her getting that win. For Jan, she's established now. She finally got her first finish in the UFC not too long ago. She's fought in a championship fight, went the distance. She's got a good team behind her with Team Alpha Male. Shout out Uriah Faber. She's gonna put up a good fucking fight. Look, if Tabitha Ricci, it won't really surprise me, but I really am heavily leaning Yan Xiaonan. So I'm alright with the Chinese fighter. Hopefully China gets one in the co-main.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take China, man. I'm going to take China. China number 1. I think Yan Xiaonan going to get the win here. I think I really don't have a whole lot to actually base this off of. I think Tabitha Ricci is fun. I think if this fight stays on the feet, I got Yan Xiaonan. I also think on the mat, I think Tabitha Ricci, I don't think she's enough to overwhelm Yan Xiaonan, so that's kind of what playing into my thought process. I also think just at home, she's going to have a lot of advantages to have that crowd behind her. Whenever Zhang Weili fought in China, which was kind of the only real major reference point we have, and that was probably 5 years ago now, dude, the crowd was on her side like anything I've ever seen. If you guys haven't seen Zhang Weili, her knockout of just Andrade back in China, it's a top 10 crowd reaction. They roared like it was some Coliseum type shit, dude. I expect the crowd to be behind Yan Xiaonan the same way. I got her pulling off the win. That being said, we got a couple other good fights here on the main card, man. Song Kinan, Muslim Salikov.
Which Muslim Salikov might be the biggest star of the night in China, by the way. He is very well known in China. He competed in Sonda, which is a very popular sport in China. He won gold several times. He's a very well-known guy. A lot of Chinese fighters know who he is, too. So don't be surprised if, he gets a lot of love this week. He is older, but man, he's entertaining, dude. His fucking kicks.
He's so fun.
No one else kicks like him in this division.
No, yeah, man. He's so fun. And even though he's 40 now, he's coming off a win over Santiago Ponzinibbio. Still a very fun guy.
Damn, Salikov MVP might have been a good fight at 170 at one point. Damn.
Oh, man. Let's see if we might be able to get it still. Who knows? Wang Kong coming back as Gabrielle Fernandez. No offense to Gabrielle Fernandez. She's a tune-up here. Wang Kong, obviously, we know the story here. She beat Valentina Shevchenko back in kickboxing. She's the real deal, Holyfield, man. I mean, she's 6-0, all but one win coming by the way of stoppage.
She has a personality, man. That's another thing too. Yeah. She isn't just good at fighting. She's also an entertainer.
She also murdered Victoria Leonardo in her UFC debut. Granted, Victoria Leonardo, no offense to her, I watched her closely, and Victa, she was never UFC caliber. And I think, like, yeah, we can run down the record, Brand. In her UFC career, she got brutally knocked out almost every single fight. She picked up a decision win over Mandy Baum back in July 2022, and Mandy was not UFC caliber either. So I wasn't surprised to hear Wayne Kong score a vicious knockout win. I think Gabriela Fernandez might give her some slight more issues than Leonardo did in her debut, but not much. The banger here, though, is Volkan Oezdemir, Carlos Ulberg. I don't know why they're on this card, but Volkan, man,
they had to move it.
They did.
I think that's what it was. This fight was going down at a different time. It had to get moved.
Not according to this. According to the wiki, they have not changed it. But maybe
what? Or it might have been rumored for a different card at one point, and I think it ended up.
I think you're probably right. Volkan, though, won 3 of his last 4, all of which being finishes. Carlos Ulberg, 10-1. We know the story. Looking insane, man. Obviously coming out of that incredible dream.
In and out of the cage.
Yeah. Damn, you know. Anyways, man.
Shout out City Kickboxing.
Shout out City Kickboxing, man. Yeah, I love that fight. Give me the. I mean, a lot of.
That's a consequential fight though. Like if Ulberg gets that, he gets an interesting conversation at 205. Obviously, he has. He's friend of Izzy. Yeah. There's a storyline there. Could he potentially get to that fight against Poetan? You know, could you imagine that Ulberg versus Poetan in the main event?
That'd be huge.
Izzy in the corner coaching him, like.
And then if you're Volkan. Boom! You're at that point. You're 1 away from a title too.
What is Volkan ranked at, and what is Ulberg ranked?
8 versus 10.
Oh
Volkan's
man!
great.
Oh man!
Yeah. The
Who's
winners.
7? I'm curious.
There is no 7. We have Krylov, Roundtree's tied at 6.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But the winner is easily set up to be in that title conversation.
Or at least fight a top 5 guy next.
Exactly. Rest of the card, it's a lot of regional talent. Not really regional.
They're also doing their tournament finals for Road to the UFC.
Correct. You Road to the UFC season 3, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, they have some other names on there. Mahashate opening against Nicholas Mata should be fun. You know, I like that one.
Long Zhao, Quang Lei, both LFA guys, really good coming up.
Yep, I like opening up the main card.
Or not, my bad. Loner Kavanaugh, Quang Lang were both LFK guys.
Forgot to mention this one on the main card. Opening up Zhang Minyang taking on Ozzy Diaz should be fun. I like that. Yeah, but overall, it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. You know, Carlos Fernandez is coming back here at flyweight. I like him. You know, but not too many deep thoughts. Anything else we talk about before we move on to some news?
No, I mean, it's going down at a weird time, but I hope people do check it out. Like, once they wake up, they throw it on. Because I think, for one, those people who are fighting the UFC, they're going to fight their fucking ass off. They're trying to get to the UFC. So they're going to be bangers. And on top of that, they're fighting in front of a massive crowd in China. They've never done that before. They never fought anywhere in Asia. I mean, like, to this level, like, on a card like they did there. Well, actually, I might be wrong. They did the Singapore one, I think, right? Yeah. But I think for one of the finals, though, it wasn't in an Asian country. Like, season 1 or whatever.
Yeah,
I think they did it separately. Like they just did their finals in Asia, but not like in a big UFC event.
Yeah,
if I remember right. Regardless, though, they'll get their moment. They'll get their flowers. And on top of that, this is a big. You know, it's just going to be a big fight, and hopefully it makes them want to come back to China. And hopefully we could get that long-awaited Weili Zhang main event with her defending her title in China. That just has not happened.
They could have done Zhang Weili against Jon Jones in China, and they were like, "Fuck that." It's just. We didn't need them on UFC 300. It was a banger fight, but we didn't need it. You could have, guys. Dude, you guys had.
Dude, they could have.
It
wouldn't even have to be on a pay-per-view, dude. They could have got away with it on UFC Macau.
They're never gonna be in this position again for it to make as much sense. To have like 2 people from a country you're trying to, like, what the fuck has happened to this company, man? Like that. I feel like 10 years ago, easily would have done it. 5 years ago, easily would have done it. It's like, what the fuck? Especially considering they were going 6 months later. You're having Zhang Weili fight once a year anyway. Who gives a fuck when it happens? You know, Jesus. Anyways, we do have some news, though, because speaking of UFC, booking fights, they did book. I mean, the UFC 310 card got a shakeup. Now, we knew that a couple of things. We knew that Bilal Muhammad was out. We knew there were rumors about Nick Diaz being out, but we didn't know if that was confirmed. Well, we have essentially a new main card for UFC 310, okay? Main event, Shavkat Rakhmonov out, Bilal Muhammad out, in flyweights, Alexander Pantoja, Kaiser Corey. We knew that one was happening. 5 rounds, banger, love to see it. Co-main event. A 5-round UFC welterweight title eliminator between Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Machado Gary. We are finally getting it.
Someone's O has got to go.
15-0 against 18-0. Give it to me. Feed it to me on a platter. Winner gets shot at Bilal Muhammad. Also on the card, heavyweight Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov. Winner not going to get it. I mean, I guess the winner could get a title shot at Tom Aspinall, depending on how things shake out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised there. Bryce Mitchell taking on Crone Gracie. Bryce Mitchell, he has not been seen since he nearly died against
I can't
Josh
believe the
Emmett.
conversation is Bryce Mitchell, dude. What do you mean? Crone Gracie's fighting. What the fuck? After the last fight.
I was going to transition into it because Crone Gracie on the main card is an insane decision to make.
They're just trying to get him the fuck out of here, aren't they? They're trying to fight out. They're trying to get him to finish out his contract.
I would think so, but then why are you putting him on a main card? I think they still have hope that he could be a fun guy.
It's no bullshit. It's a statement.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yeah, we're gonna put you out there and you're gonna look like a dumbass and you're not gonna be able to fight anywhere else.
Maybe. Last time he fought was UFC 288.
No bullshit though. He could beat Bryce though.
No, he might, especially if Bryce engages him on the mat, which I think he will.
Because he'll be like, I ain't losing to none of that jiu-jitsu.
I'm not losing none of that Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, I got that Arkansas jiu-jitsu thug nasty. You know, I got my mixtape coming out soon, you know? Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, I like the fight, but
it'll be interesting. I'm actually really intrigued about it. Like, it's such a weird matchup that you would, by the way, credit to whoever came up with that.
Oh, yeah.
I would have never thought about it.
No.
Because I never thought they were to make Crone fight again.
I mean, his last fight with Charles Jourdain was one of the worst fights of all time.
But Josh, wouldn't it be really funny if Crone won?
Oh my God. And you know what? He'd be ranked.
That's why I'm bringing it up. That's why I thought it was really, that's why
God.
all of this is really funny. He's coming off 2 losses. 2.
Granted, the losses were Cub Swanson and Charles Jourdain, so guys are like on the outskirts of top 15, but still to get rewarded with the number 13 ranked guys.
That's what I'm saying. Granted, they're trying to. I guess they're trying to get like Bryce a give me back, but like not a give me back.
Yeah, it's a fun fight to throw on a card. Like if the best case scenario happens, these guys engage on the mat, it's going to be fun. The issue though, they may not engage, and this may be fucking terrible.
Can you imagine if Crone knocked out Bryce again?
Dude, honestly, Crone, he does have skills on the feet. That's what made that Charles Jourdain fight so fucking infuriating. Because that Cub Swanson fight was a banger. 3 rounds on the feet. He was going to the body a lot. It was a fun fight, man.
But it was a weird week too, because Crone was like being like a massive diva, like didn't want to talk to anybody. He had like a weird interaction with anybody. I forgot who he had a weird interaction with the night of.
Yeah, I can't think of either. But he's just a weird guy.
What card was he on?
288. So that was Cejudo Sterling. And then a whole lot of nothing.
I think did he get into it with Sterling maybe? I'm trying to remember.
It was a weird card, man. It was a very strange night.
I think it was. I think it was fucking. I'm looking at it now. I think it was Sterling. I think they had a little weird interaction or something. By the way, this is the same card that Braxton Smith was on. Do you remember that guy?
Oh, how could I ever forget Braxton Smith, dude? Yeah, that fight just fucking sucks.
By the way, we'll be talking about this not too long from now, guys. We're gonna be coming back with pay-per-view talks very soon.
Dude, literally 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll get a week off and then we'll have this. But at least we'll have, hopefully, a lot of stuff comes out by then and we'll have a decent bit of talks.
Yeah.
A decent bit of news to talk about.
Yeah, so I don't want to preview too much. Oh, the last one. Our boy, Themba Dreambo, I believe. Grimbo. Taking on Vicente Luque. Luque originally started to fight Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz out.
Dreams really do come true.
Yeah, dude, I hated that fight. If Nick Diaz is going to fight again, it should not be against Luque. It's that simple for me. Oh, and then opening up the main card, this one also got announced. Dude, holy shit. Do Ho Choi, Nate Landwehr.
Nate the Train, baby!
Nate the Train in the UFC, baby! Or you get a Korean Superboy, like, y'all must have forgot type moment, like how he had against Bill Alguio in July. Dude, like, I love this fight, bro. I fucking love this
God's here. Dude, this card, like, they are gonna call it shit on paper, but goddamn, for some of the matchups fire.
I'm way more excited for this card. And then we'll talk about the prelims. The prelims, dude, they were cooking. They were cooking. They were in the lab. They were like, all right, we don't got a lot of pieces to work with. We're out of the basics. We're out of salt. We're out of pepper. These motherfuckers just started cooking though. They started throwing some shit in there. Started all in a pot. Boom. Banger. 10 out of 10. Anthony Smith, Dominic Reyes. Prelim fight. Love that. Movsar Iliwev, Aljamain Sterling. Winner might get a title shot at 135. Randy Brown, Brian Battle. What the fuck? Where did that come from?
The Butcher was not losing to a French man.
Exactly. I love that shit. Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin. Clay Guida, Chase Hooper. Old guy against young man. I love it.
Who was it, Paris?
Cody Durden against Joshua Van. And then if they can find a replacement for Verna Janajaroba, she'll stay on the card too. We're just supposed to fight Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah, who that replacement should have been? It should have been Weili Zhang.
Yeah, they really should have.
Too late now.
Yeah, they fucked that one up. But dude, this is a damn near 10 out of 10 card for me, dude. Like in terms of matchups, not in terms of names, this gives me like, I hate to say it, like back in the day, I remember people shit on UFC 206 a lot. Way back, this is like 2016, and like the card like fell apart. I had a lot of fights fall out, and I remember at the time everybody was like shitting on it because like it wasn't like a lot of high profile names. But I'm like, guys, matchup wise, this might be the shit. I'm getting the same vibe. This might go down as card of the year, UFC 310. I could be wrong, but I got a lot of high hopes, man. At least as far as let's hope these guys can actually have good camps because a lot of these fights are short notice. It's my one kind of pause.
But dude, that might help it though.
It might. They might be more balls to the wall.
There might be like I gotta take some risk in this hoe. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We'll talk about the kind of the other few news subjects. We only got a few more before we bounce out of here. Tommy Fury has not been seen since he beat KSI and Jake Paul last year in just a few months span. After that, he had to get surgery on his hand. I believe he said he had been fighting with a broken hand since like his 4th fight. He just never got it healed or whatever. He never took. He did not want to take the full time off. Well, he took the time off. There were rumors he'd fight KSI. There were rumors he'd fight Jake Paul. Instead, he's fighting former UFC welterweight title challenger Darren Till, the Gorilla. 18-5-1 in the cage, 1-0 in the boxing ring. Knocked out Muhammad Matudi in July. What a name. And yeah, man. Darren Till called out Tommy Fury after that win. He got what he wanted. They're going to be fighting in Misfits.
This is the timeline I'm living in. Tommy Fury's fighting Darren Till.
January 18th at the Co-op Live, Manchester. On a scale of 1 to 10, give me your excitement level, man. I mean, obviously, given the expectations
9.
of what this is. Really?
Because I got Tommy Fury's dad, and then I got Darren Till on the other end. And I like shit shows. And they're both English.
That's true. Dude, I said it earlier. I love freak show fights, and this is about as freaky.
Exactly.
Like, this is freak show as it gets. I mean, Tommy Fury.
All I would need next is for them to do this like in a Pride ring in the Saitama Super Arena and have 2 little people fight on the undercard, and then fucking Mikey Musumeci does a grappling bout with a sumo wrestler. To top it off. Like that's the perfect freak show I need.
And then round 1 can be boxing, round 2 can be kickboxing, round 3 can be MMA.
Right? Some bullshit.
I like this fight. Like I said on Twitter, like as far as if in this kind of weird influencer crossover, whatever the fuck this is in 2024, heading into 2025, whatever is left of this bubble, I think this is one of the best fights you could make. Darren Till, it's so funny to think about. He nearly beat DDP in his last fight in the UFC. Like he was one. Like if he survives to the end of round 3, he probably wins. You know what I mean? Like he was tuning him up in round 2. He's tuning up at the start of round 3 before the takedown. So kind of
didn't look bad again in there against Robert Whittaker.
Yeah, exactly. So he may win this fight. He genuinely might. Tommy Fury coming off a year layoff. This fight's going to be up at heavyweight too, because I'm assuming they just didn't want to cut the weight.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it. They just didn't feel like cutting the weight. And it's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. We'll see how they look. I like it, man. I like it. It's another step for Tommy Fury in terms of his boxing career.
This is pretty much close the door on Darren ever coming back to UFC. I'm kind of getting that vibe now, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is.
Probably, especially if he loses, But yeah, man, I mean, I like it. It's for Tommy Fury. We can set himself up for either a Jake Paul rematch or a KSI rematch. And for him, it's just an ability to keep on making money. He's in that position where it's like he can either go the professional boxing route and just tune up some guys on like Tyson Fury undercards, or he can go the kind of the crossover route and just make a shitload of money. Either one works for him, and he may just choose to do like the crossovers right now and move on to professional boxing.
He's that young still.
People forget he's 23.
No, he's older.
Actually, I think he was 23 when he fought Jake.
I'm gonna say he's probably 25 by now.
He's 25. He was 23 when he fought Jake. I was looking at the wrong fucking thing. Anyways, point being, man, I like it. It is what it is. Other fight announcements though. Actually, this is not a fight announcement. This is reportedly in the works. And with the way boxing is, this could be outdated by the time we post this. Okay, Teofimo Lopez, who, for my money, whenever he is on, he might be it's crazy to say. Whenever he's on, he might be the best pound for pound boxer on the planet. That's not even a joke. Like if you're looking at him,
he's so fun. He's so fun when he's him. He's so fun.
27 years old, the current WBO and the ring light welterweight champion. Obviously, undefeated since losing to George Kambosos by split decision back in 2021. But like I said, whenever he's on, he's on. I mean, during that stretch, he dominated Jermaine Ortiz. He dominated Josh Taylor, who was undefeated at the time. He dominated Vasily Lomachenko, honestly. Loma came back on kind of later rounds, but still, you get what I'm saying. Reportedly in talks to fight Devin Haney in the spring. We've not seen the dreams.
For Devin Haney's return.
Devin Haney's return since he lost to Ryan Garcia in April. I guess that's technically now no contest, but we saw the fight. I've never.
Oh, by the way, we also got to talk about Ryan.
Yes, correct. Ryan Garcia reportedly. I mean, that one doesn't really matter as much. It's an exhibition.
But it's still funny though, because it's like, is Ryan gonna go in there and like treat it like an exhibition, or is Ryan gonna go in there and be like, haha, bitch?
Him and Ampo are gonna fucking square up.
That's why I want to bring it up.
Well, that's what Ampo did with Manny Pacquiao too. So he just brings it. I love me some Ampo. Going to be fighting on Ryzen's end of the year card, I believe.
It's still
I
a
like
big
it.
thing. That's why I
Yeah.
want to bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to write it off as nothing.
No, of course. I got you. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. It'll be fun, That being said, man, but as far as like the Devin Haney,
By the way, that's a good fight that you just.
yeah, they just announced this. Actually, I'll keep that in the background because we're about to talk about that actually right up next. But yeah, Teofimo, Devin Haney, give it to me. Like genuinely, I'd buy that pay-per-view. That's a great fight. That's a fantastic fight, especially for both guys, given where they're at this point in their careers. I love that shit, dude. And I think for Teofimo, he's been calling out Terrence Crawford. In fact, he's been calling out Terrence Crawford with some racist shit, dog. Like, have you seen this?
Wait, who?
Teofimo,
He's been calling out.
Terrence Crawford,
Oh, okay.
and he's being racist. That's not even a joke.
There's some strong allegations.
No, I mean like he's literally. Let me pull up the comments. Oh man, he said.
Oh,
He called
no, don't say it. But he referred to him as an animal. Not gonna say what kind of animal, but it's a primate.
Yeah. So he's. Oh man,
Is that actually word for word? Like that's an actual quote? That's bad.
I'm gonna pull it up.
He's pulling the Ryan Garcia.
Oh my god, it's even worse.
Oh.
So Teofimo Lopez said, okay, so he called out Terrence Bud Crawford and he called out Gervonta Tank Davis.
By the way,
He
I
said,
totally need to make a TikTok of that and put out that headline.
I'm not going to say it because I don't want this to get clipped around and out of context for me to lose my job. But he said, whatever animal wants to get the banana, they say they are gorillas. I'm a lion. I eat them. That was a good one. Whatever animal wants the banana.
That's bad.
That's bad. So, and after that, Crawford was like, "Yeah, dude, fuck off. I'm not going to make money with you." Like, he was trying to go him into a fight, but he went about it the completely wrong way.
Dude, it's crazy how people could get away with this shit now, dude. Ryan Garcia did it. Nothing. He actually got rewarded. He got a fight with Alpo in Japan.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like there's no good reason to be a good person.
I mean, John called that cop a cracker, Josh, and nothing came of it.
He did. And you know what? After beating the shit out of the mother of his children. And he got rewarded with $1 million contract. I'm not sure if you guys follow politics, but no, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that.
Jesus.
I tried. I'm not, even though the UFC just force feeds political shit down my fucking throat, I don't want to talk about it on the show, man.
But you like Devin Teofimo as a fight, though. Like, that is.
It's genuinely one of the best fights I think you can make.
Once again,
when he's on, he's on.
Yeah. Oh, he's on his shit.
Yeah. And I think whenever he's on, he's on. And I think Devin Haney, similar thing. I'm not going to. He lost to Ryan Garcia. I wonder how much of that was him thinking, okay, this motherfucker is out of his mind. I got this shit in.
Do you think they'll have a rematch?
Yes, absolutely.
They need to. The money's
It's
so
a matter
good. The
of-
money's too good.
It's a matter of when, if not if,
The money's too good. The money there is too good.
It is. So we'll see what happens next for those guys. I think Ryan and Ampo are going to put on a banger. I think Teofimo and Devin are going to put on a banger.
Masterclass.
It's a matter of making that second fight, though, because this Teofimo Devin, that's not official. So we'll see.
Yeah.
You know what is official though, Angel? God damn, am I psyched for this fight, man? Shit, this is one of those fights that, like, I saw this, came out this morning right before we started filming, and I was like, dude, this is the shit that it gets you fired up in the morning. Usman Nurmagomedov is undefeated. He is the current Bellator lightweight champion, and you look at and granted, there are some guys where they're like, okay, you're fighting outside the UFC. How much of these wins are worth? Well, we know at 26 years old, Alexander Shavli, a dominant win. It's a great win for him. Brent Primus, a dominant win. Benson Henderson submitted him inside the first round. Patricky Pitbull dominated him. Multiple great wins to the resume. He is set to take on Paul Hughes, the former Cage Warriors featherweight champion, now a lightweight, 13-1, coming off a split decision winner, Adrian McKee. He's looked great since signing to the PFL Tour back in earlier this year.
I like that.
Yeah, PFL Tour. Anyways, these two are going to headline Bellator Dubai, January 25th. I'm psyched for this fight.
It's a 10 out of 10 matchup.
This is one of the few fights you can make outside the UFC that it's like, oh, damn.
Bro, and Habib is there, and Conor is there.
Connor's already said he's going to be there. Habib's going to be in the corner. Presumably, he's been in the corner in his last few Bellator fights. I mean.
And Islam there? Dude, the heat, bro.
It's literally.
Carl Parisian, the heat.
It's Russia versus Ireland part 2, brother. That's what it is.
Bro, it's about to be malice in the palace for Dubai. The security in there is going to have to be crazy.
You know what's funny? It's funny you brought that up. You know what yesterday was? The 20-year anniversary of the Malice in the Palace.
That's hilarious.
No shit. Yeah. I watched all that footage last night, dude. I was watching the broadcast clips, and it's like, damn, dude, they really
I forgot who were the coaches again? Do you remember? We'll talk about it afterwards.
Oh, man, I think
we'll talk about it afterwards.
We'll talk about it
because I got a whole story about it.
Yeah. It's like, damn, those dudes really did run up or on our test, you know?
I will say, because I have
you
a
know?
story about that. But I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah, anyways. So as far as this fight goes, man, banger. I mean, I don't want to preview because this fight's less than 2 months away. Like,
Oh, we'll be there. But by the way, this is the thing I told Josh off air. December leading into January is insane.
Yeah.
Because we still have Fury Usyk at the end of this month. We had Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary, like we mentioned earlier. Kai Sakura versus Pantoja. There's still a lot of craziness that can happen. We have Davison versus Petr Yan this weekend. The results of that are very important too.
Yeah, man. It's insane. Kind of the effect, man. As far as the end of the year is just insane, man. I'm so psyched for it. That being said, one of the fight they actually also announced for this card. Oh, actually, this is a never mind. This is actually the PFL World Title fight coming down. Brent Primus taking on Gadzi Rabanov, PFL lightweights.
He got into that position again.
Yeah.
He's got into a title again. Brent Primus has done it again somehow. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it too much because we're actually going to preview that fight next week.
Because it'll be the only major MMA going down next week, I believe.
Yes, correct.
No
correct.
UFC next week.
Correct. Anyways, man, very excited. And then we got Eddie Alvarez taking on
Knuckle Mania. Actually, I don't even know if they're calling it Knuckle Mania.
No, it is. It's BKFC Knuckle Mania 5.
Let me go back. BFC Knuckle Mania 5.
There you go, man.
They totally do some voice line like that.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I mean, we don't know any undercard fights, but it'll be going down on pay-per-view. Eddie Alvarez, excuse me, the Zone. I don't know if it's on.
They can. Never mind. They can't take my money.
Eddie Alvarez, Jeremy Stevens.
Or well, unless they want to reach out and do some business, and I definitely watch it on the Zone, and I wouldn't go to my local Buffalo Wild Wings.
I would never go to my local Buffalo Wild Wings when it comes to BKFC if they would,
reach out. I like your guys' product. I support.
Anyways, Eddie Alvarez, Jeremy Stevens, 2 former UFC guys. Eddie Alvarez coming off that loss to Mike Platinum Perry earlier this year. Jeremy Stevens 2-0 inside the BKFC ring. Man, 10 out of 10. Give it to me. Violence. That's all I want.
Violence personified.
Yeah, that's all I want. Give it to me. Feed it to me on a platter. I'm down. That's all we got to talk about, man, on the rundown. Is there anything else we want to go and talk about before we go and bounce out of here, though?
No, man. I'm just excited to close out this year. It's been such a fun year. Over 1 million views. This past week was really fun. I loved the fights. I also want to shout out KSW 100. They had the event this past week. I did not know their pay-per-views were $12, $14 after taxes and all that and fees. So guys, go support your other promotions that are not just the UFC, because I didn't know it cost that much. If I knew that, I would have been buying their pay-per-view sooner to be supporting them and give them that kind of money.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I was looking to see if there's any news that's come out. There's been no news that's come out since we've been filming. I'm sure the second
we get off, I go home, I edit this.
No, yeah, immediately. Dana's gonna be like, "What's up, guys? Dana White here.
The return of Conor McGregor, January 25th."
Exactly. But that being said, man, I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter, at AngelTinga_1 at Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. This past week was the best week in the history of the show. We cannot thank you guys enough. All the people that subscribed in the last week, there's about like 60 of you. Thank you for coming on board, and hope you guys stick around, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the show this week. Enjoy the fights. See you later.